Good morning to our first day here in Rio de Janeiro, the most visited city in Brazil, and we're super excited to be here. And this is actually known as the most beautiful city in Brazil. The next few days we're gonna go and check out to see how true that is, and we're just gonna roam around and find some hidden gems. So starting off today, we're actually in this area called Leblon that we're staying at. It is a rather upscale, kind of like a rich area. A lot of other areas in Rio sometimes have a bad reputation, especially the ones near the favelas are notoriously known to be more dangerous. So that's why I decided to stay in a rather safe area this time so that we have a peace of mind. The day when we arrived, it was actually quite scary. We were at a restaurant just dining, enjoying our Thai food, and suddenly the restaurant staff came up to us and say like, we are closing soon because apparently there's a situation right now. The police is carrying out a military operation against one of the biggest gang groups here in Brazil. And at the end of the day, the news actually reported 130 people died because of this police raid. We're just really lucky that we stay in a good area that day.
In the central, everything was like car burning. It's like a whole war.
Yeah, I was told that it's actually near the airport, so it's like really serious case. The deadliest raid ever in Brazil history. One of the most common scams we used to run into when we first started traveling are SIM card scams. Sometimes you would pay really expensive pricing for a SIM card and the local seller would convince you that it is unlimited data, but then within a day your data runs out. And on top of that, you have to swap out SIM cards, you have to find a counter at the airport. There is just so much effort. When now it's 2026, there is much easier way to stay connected. And that's why for the last 2 years, we've always been using eSIM from Holafly, the sponsor of today's video. They give us unlimited data in over 200 plus destinations from 1 day up to 90 days. That is fast and reliable, and we never have to stress about running out of data or dealing with local SIM cards anymore. They also offer regional eSIMs, which is super convenient when you're traveling within the same region, so you don't have to keep switching SIM cards every time you cross the border. And if you're a frequent traveler, good news, because Holafly has just released the Holafly plan, which is a monthly subscription that allows you to stay connected with global coverage with one single subscription, and you can cancel anytime you want. I think the major problem with other eSIM companies is usually they give you a tiny amount of data with very expensive pricing, whereas for Holafly, their pricing is fair and they have unlimited data, so you never have to stress about running out of internet. Now the setup itself is very straightforward and it literally takes less than 5 minutes. They send you a QR code straight to your email or WhatsApp, so you can install the eSIM before you fly. So the moment when you land, you just turn it on and it's instantly connected. So if you want to check out Holafly, just use the link in the description. And we also have a special discount code to help you save even more money. Just use the code Justin and Alina to get 5% off, or you can click the link in the description and the code will automatically be applied at checkout. Now let's get back to the video. You know, yesterday it was so cool because it was our first day, right? We were just walking out to get lunch and all of a sudden we saw a few monkeys, like the tiny monkeys. They were just on one of these like cables. And also apparently in Rio there is one of the biggest rainforests within a city. So that's why there's so many animals here. And first of all, we're gonna go and check out the beach. The other day when we came here, it was all very stormy, windy weather. Today looks so sunny. So that's why there are umbrella booths everywhere. And I'm saying everywhere.
They look so different, pack of people. And Justin finally gonna swim in Rio de Janeiro.
And why are you not gonna swim?
I'm scared of waves. He is really big waves and a lot of red flag that it's actually dangerous to swim, and I don't know how to swim proper, so that's why.
I feel like we're part of culture here. Part of this beach culture.
Yeah?
All the locals are just spending time, like probably like no one's staying at home, everyone's going out to the beach today.
So cold.
You can see the cultural difference here as well. Everyone here is really naked.
It's a Brazilian style.
And then look at Alina.
I'm a Korean style or Chinese style because I'm scared of sunburn.
There's no sun.
How is it?
Fun. It's like a community of suiciders go to water to brace the waves.
There is one time was so scary. You almost like swim away from me to completely the other side.
Alina talking like there's a tsunami. It's not. It's just small waves. It's actually quite nice in there. I didn't feel cold at all. It's a very beautiful beach here, and you can see there's so many people swimming here as well, so I'm not completely alone. If anything, there are people even more further out, so I wasn't scared at all. And there are also a lot of cafes, really good restaurants and pastry and bakery places in this area.
So that's why now we bought the Portuguese egg tart. So much filling inside. See? Like, wow. Just now there was 3 women outside. They walk, and through windows see us eating this, and they're like, oh, and they came too.
So Alina told me she's not hungry, so that's why now I'm going out to have lunch alone, and I want to show you some hidden gems that we found in our area. So for this hidden gem today, we're gonna go inside the supermarket just because it turns out supermarket in Brazil has a huge variety, so I might as well show you what they're selling here in the supermarket and also show you the hidden gem that I found inside here. You can see that in any place in Brazil, it's super pet friendly. These are trolleys that are made specifically for pets. So like the pet goes in the front here, at the bottom, and then whatever grocery you put at the top compartment. So inside the supermarket, there's also a big cafeteria, canteen area where you can grab your own food, kind of like a buffet for breakfast and lunch. And for dinner, you can go up to one of those machines and order a la carte. Sometimes I order steak even. So like food here is actually really good quality and super affordable, very good value as well. So that's why it attracts a lot of locals here, no matter the age. You see students, office workers, just all kinds of age people just enjoying the time here. Today, it's finally the day that we're gonna see Christ the Redeemer, one of the new 7 wonders in the world. Honestly, this is kind of the reason why we came to Brazil in the first place, is to see this.
Yes, before if someone tell me about Brazil, I only imagine this Christ. It's like, when you think about France, you think about Eiffel Tower. When you think about Brazil, you think about this Christ. So that's why it always was my dream to see this in person.
And as you guys know, we've got a little Christmas tradition that we always buy souvenir in every country so that we can hang on to our Christmas tree. And it looks like they're selling some souvenir here.
I think it's so cool souvenir with the Christ.
Yeah.
It's like so memorable. Do you want to buy now or you want to buy after we've seen?
Doesn't matter, can buy now. Anyway, we know it's gonna be good.
Okay. So we bought these 2 souvenirs.
Okay, thank you.
Obrigado.
Obrigado. Bye. Bye. So there are actually many ways you can get up to Christ the Redeemer. One of the most common way is actually to take the tram, which you have to pay in advance, book in advance online, which is cost 128 reals per person. But that's also the safest option overall. You can even walk up, but a lot of people actually report that it's actually not safe to if you walk up. First of all, it's a long journey, and secondly, people have reported they've got robbed and assaulted on the way, so that's why it's better to take the tram in general.
And also walking, it's around 2.5 hours, so it's really a long walk. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Dream come true. Yeah. It's like you see Eiffel Tower, something so big. So many people, crazy. There is no even spot for taking photo. Wow. Wow, that's insane. Looks so grand in real life, looks so big.
A lot of people who watch our video always ask us what kind of beginner drones we recommend, especially when traveling. Obviously, you want something that can shoot very cinematic drone shots, also without too much stress. So first of all, it has to shoot very good quality video, and secondly, it has to be easy to fly, and thirdly, it has to be affordable, not costing a few $1,000s. Because let's be honest, when you travel, you don't want to be flying a $1,000 drone and crashing it. It can really ruin your holiday, right? And that's when we discovered what might be the perfect drone for a lot of you. A drone that flies itself, it tracks you automatically, it avoids all the obstacles, pose and it takes off from your palm and it shoots 8K video quality like a Hollywood movie. I'm talking about the HoverAir X1 Pro Max. This is the most insane drone we've ever seen. It is the world's first 8K self-flying camera and also the smartest self-flying camera ever made. This thing shoots 8K at 30 FPS, 4K at 120 FPS, and it has a 107 degrees ultra-wide lens to capture wide-angle shots, not like a lot of action cameras that tends to have very narrow tunnel visions. But the real magic is that it is a beast at tracking. It comes with over 15 flight modes you can use with one tap: follow mode, sidetrack, orbit, dolly track, 360 spin, and even dedicated modes for cycling and skiing. It uses advanced AI to lock into you with insane precision, even in tight spaces like narrow alleyways, forests, and places where most drones completely freaked out. And it even has intelligent rear collision detection, so you're not constantly worrying about flying back into a tree or brick wall. And the footage on this thing is ridiculously smooth because of a combination of a 2-axis gimbal, AI-assisted horizontal leveling, and built-in stabilization. So even if you're running, biking, riding a scooter, or going on a hike, the shots look professionally cinematic and stabilized. It weighs only 192 grams and you can put it into basically nothing. You can literally take off and land on your palm, and if you film vertically for Instagram and TikTok, the camera flips for true vertical shooting. You can also control it however you feel comfortable with voice control, high hover, follow, with the app, or with the new tri-state beacon and joystick, which gives you proper manual control, live monitoring, and up to 1 kilometer range using a bright OLED screen. So if you want to fly a drone and shooting cinematic drone shots in your next holiday stress-free, definitely go and check out HoverAir X1 Pro Max because it is seriously very impressive. I've never seen anything like this before.
You should lie down like this for me to make me good photo. Lie down. You're my boyfriend. You should lie down like this too.
Full-time boyfriend?
Full-time boyfriend.
See? Girlfriend?
Can you please be my full-time boyfriend?
Woman too. Full-time girlfriend.
Guys, we're here. We're trying to take photo, but here's that many people, so it's almost close to impossible.
We try to put the camera angle as high as possible so you don't see other people, but in reality, it's like millions, like an ocean of people just sitting under the statue. It's that crazy.
People are so creative here. See, they put phone down there and taking photo like this because it's right up to us, and we can see the all people sitting here taking photo.
So I was told that this statue was actually built in the 1920s, apparently because in Brazil, Catholic is the most popular religion here, so that's why they built this statue as a reminder of the religion that is very important in this city. As a symbol, the Christ is kind of looking down on the city, so that's why it kind of symbolizes the fact that it's like protecting the city, looking after the city from the top. And apparently they use this material called soapstone that is kind of like water resistant to protect because, you know, Rio is very humid all the time. You can see the weather today is also extremely foggy. But one thing that is not protecting is lightning because there are no lightning rods installed on this statue, so that's why every now and then it actually gets hit with lightning, apparently. Sometimes it gets hit in the head, sometimes it gets hit the fingers, so they have to repair each individual part every time after lightning. Under the statue, there's also a small chapel where sometimes apparently you can actually get married inside under the statue. And they're actually holding an assembly inside at the moment, so... Oh! It's a monkey! But Rio isn't just about Christ the Redeemer. What really makes this city feel alive is how much nature is woven into it with the amount of greeneries that it has. And actually, under the very same mountain of Christ the Redeemer stands one of the most beautiful botanic gardens with over 6,000 species of plants, trees, and tropical flowers. That is enough for you to spend an hour or two enjoying the fresh air. And forgetting that you're in a massive city and immerse yourself in this slice of nature that Brazil has to offer. And then you realize, okay, Rio, it's getting hot, so maybe it's time to escape the tropical heat and show you a completely different side of Rio. One that most people rarely talks about is its historical side, because just a short distance from the palm trees and mountain view, Rio suddenly feels old, dense, intellectual, and almost European. And our first stop is the Royal Portuguese Cabinet of Reading.
So this library was actually built by Portuguese immigrants when they came to
Rio. They want to preserve the culture abroad, and also they want to teach people here the understanding of Portuguese as well. So that's why they keep a lot of books here, over 350,000 books here, and many of them are actually original copies. Some of them are even handwritten as well. And you can see the design here is designed almost like a European palace. It's like take inspiration from it, so that's why it looks so grand. And the ceiling itself is over 20 meters high. So it's like a full cathedral here.
Yeah, looks like I went to like Harry Potter time. Hogwarts.
That's true. It does look like it.
Wingardium Leviosa.
We've just made it to our next stop, which is this really old and historical cathedral that is being used by emperors in the past, where emperors of Brazil were crowned in this same cathedral. Everything here is in golden decorations, and the cathedral itself looks so grand. And this over 250 years old cathedral.
In Rio, the cathedral looks just unbelievable. I've never seen in other parts of the world like this size, you know, like this 3D, everything so detailed.
You can see they really put a lot of effort into crafting these sculptures. It's so detailed. I cannot even imagine how people 200 years ago can do this. So just now after the cathedral, there was a heavy rain, so we decided to come indoors and come to one of the most historical cafes in downtown Rio de Janeiro. This place is opened, it was opened in 1892. That means it's over 130 plus years of, opening, functioning right now. And you can see the design itself, it's so historical. It feels like we're in a palace with like stained glass, columns, and also mirrors. We're actually on a balcony floor, and downstairs there's another floor full of pastries and bakery.
And just now when we took elevator, the elevator was that old that I've seen this kind of elevator only in a movie. The woman inside this elevator opened door for us, and only 3 people can fit inside. We've included her, it's 4 people inside.
So tiny.
I know, so tiny.
So tiny. This is $3. What is this?
$10? Really?
Free.
Ah.
Well, $10 I'll cry.
I can say the crust is thinner compared to the ones in Hong Kong, like the edges, Usually it's thicker there.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it looks like a Portuguese tart. Hong Kong better. Portuguese tart in Macau better.
Yeah, I know that.
So apart from the egg tart, we also ordered 2 other desserts. This is called mil folhas, which is like a layered dessert, and inside we chose doce de leche, which is, I think it's like a signature pastry in this cafe. And then we also ordered this one. This is called brigadeiro, which is kind of like a very signature Brazilian dessert with coconut crumbs outside, and inside it's condensed milk. And also we ordered Italian cappuccino.
Do you want my honest opinion? I know you guys sometimes you don't like my honest opinion because, I'm Russian, I'm so direct, and I always like to say if I don't like something, I say I don't like. Sometimes you get offended, but anyway, I want to tell this place, it's feel like tourist trap, and it's just overrated completely because all desserts, when you come to this place and you pay this price, you're expecting something like, wow, super delicious. But all desserts that we tried, there was like normal, basic, super basic desserts, nothing special.
It's definitely a good experience sitting inside this historical place to eat. I think it's really cool on its own, but in terms of the taste-wise, it's just like a normal dessert.
Yeah, our mistake was order so many desserts and also didn't check that coffee is so sweet. But I think if you just go inside, get some cup of tea and enjoying your one of small dessert, I think it's gonna be a good experience.
So next, we're actually going to a Bohemian artistic region called Santa Teresa, which is originally where we booked our Airbnb actually, but because of like safety concern that we saw online, we decided to move somewhere else. But anyway, we're going to this area now, and one of the best way to do that is take the local tram, which is the oldest tram in Brazil or even in South America. It's kind of similar to the one you saw in like Lisbon, you know, in Portugal, where the yellow trams. It's going to be something similar. It connects downtown Rio all the way to that region. Whoa, so high. My goodness. That is a really cool experience.
Wow, I didn't expect this tram is actually a local tram. A local usually use this to go up the hill. So interesting. I thought it's a touristic attraction, but not.
You see, most of the tourists actually stay on the tram to make their trip where you can continue for like an hour. This area is actually called Santa Teresa, and if someone saw the tram that comes up to this area, and it's very artistic. As you see everywhere, here is graffiti. It's like very art style, and it's on a hilly region, so that's why coming up here, it's kind of a climb. So for today's lunch, we are actually having at a very local cafe that serves Brazilian food, and apparently this restaurant inside has a massive terrace and panoramic view as well. So we're gonna go and check it out.
We're gonna first time try Brazilian food today.
Authentic ones, finally. First up, we've got this very traditional Brazilian dish called feijoada, bean stew with meat. It's very traditional, that's served at almost every Brazilian restaurant. As for Alina, she's got the bobo de camarão, which means a creamy shrimp stew that is made with something called cassava. Apparently, it is very similar to tapioca, so like it's this like mashed cassava that makes this creamy texture. Also on top, there is also some dry cassava to spread on top to have extra crunchy texture. I mean, it is like a very creamy stew with shrimp inside. It's very savory as well. The texture, it doesn't feel too mashed. It's delicious.
Interesting.
I like it. This thing here, this like powdery thingy, is actually the same cassava but dried and it made into this flour. So usually it's spread on top of rice so that it gives an extra texture. That's the whole idea behind this dish. There is like the crunchiness from the faroche thing and also the bean stew and everything. Different texture so that it's not all mushy.
Yeah, just now, just like, oh, what is this? And he tried, and they said it's a spicy sauce. He's like, look at his face.
I didn't expect it to be so spicy.
Of course, they said it's like crazy spicy.
Usually Brazilian people, they don't eat so spicy food, so I thought it's just gonna be like a Thai spicy sauce, you know? It was meant to add into like this soup thing, but I didn't, so I just decided to try how spicy it is, and then now I'm dying. I love that in Rio, if you want nature, it's literally just a few steps away, and if you start missing the fast-paced urban life, you can jump straight back into it just as easily. The next day, we woke up to a perfect weather with sunshine, so of course we're heading straight back in nature. And this time, going to another mountain called the Sugarloaf Mountain. So right now, we're gonna go up to the Sugarloaf Mountain, which is 396 meters tall, and it's the tallest mountain, I believe, in Rio that overlooks the entire Rio de Janeiro. And the reason why it's called Sugarloaf Mountain is because it kind of looks like a sugar loaf. And if you don't know what a sugar loaf is, basically back in the day, Brazil was one of the largest sugar producer in the world. And back in the day, sugar, they don't come in bags like we nowadays see in powdery form. Back in the day, it's in a form of kind of like a cone mold. Kind of looks like this mountain here. So that's why it's called Sugarloaf Mountain. The views from up there are spectacular, very beautiful. You're looking over Rio's coastline, the ocean, the mountains, all of it. And I'll be real though, after a while it does start to feel a bit repetitive, but I guess it's not really about doing anything crazy. You just come here to slow down and admire the view. And honestly, as a day out, it is still a great one for sure.
On the way back just now, we've seen so many monkeys. It's a Brazilian monkey, the smallest monkey in the world.
They say 400 grams only.
400 grams, can you imagine? So light. It's so cute, they're so friendly. They're just sitting there and like, some people even touch them. Cannot like this. But anyway, they're so friendly, so friendly.
Just want to...
I know. I want to kidnap one.
just right under the Sugarloaf Mountain, there is actually a small beach area here. It's like a small cove, so the waves are relatively calmer, relatively quieter already, but you can see it is very popular amongst Brazilians. Slightly, just a sunny day, immediately they'll go to the beach. No matter it's cold, hot, beach. There are still so many hidden gems and underrated places in Brazil that we didn't get to explore this time, mostly because of time constraint. But what really stays with me is how free people here are to express themselves, through art, painting, music, and dancing. It is really an eye-opener. And of course, the nature in Brazil is on another level that makes you want to come back and explore more in the future. But with that, our South America series is coming to an end. Thank you so much for watching and traveling with us to the other side of the world. And to everyone who subscribed along the way, thank you so much. It genuinely means a lot to us. We'll see you in the next one.